Well, the beast is hungry and goddamn does it need to eat. You know what? I've always enjoyed watching these wokies eat each other, and this new nonsense with Patton Oswalt taking a picture with Dave Chappelle, it's really just more candy, something for the old sweet tooth. It says a lot about society and where we are in regards to shit like this, where celebrities have to walk around on eggshells to not ruffle the feathers of the most unpleasable assholes in society. The woke mob is a crew of brainless zombies. You're not allowed to dissent, even if the dissent is tiny or minuscule. Truth is irrelevant to the wokies. Obedience is the only law, and Patton Oswalt just got reminded not to step out of line again. So let's check this shit out. So Patton Oswalt gets invited by Dave Chappelle, who is the biggest motherfucker in stand-up comedy at the moment, to open for him at a New Year's show. That's like your band being asked to open for Led Zeppelin back in 1972. I mean, this is a huge thing, even for an established comedian like Patton Oswalt. Patton wanted to commemorate that event by posting a picture of him and Dave together on New Year's. And what a fucking shitlord. Did you not think, Patton, wokie's gonna be woke, bro, and shit hit the fan because Dave is basically Hitler. And Patton, in a desperate attempt to prove he's not in allegiance with a Nazi, had to apologize. And what a pathetic move it was. Look at this picture. Look at that fucking thing. For starters, we get this. Yeah, oh hey, I didn't see you guys walk in with the camera. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just deep in thought with 3 fucking notepads writing draft after draft about how I feel about my association with my friend who turns out to be a black Nazi. And the letter includes a little tidbit like this. But we also 100% disagree about transgender rights and representation. Now, what are the odds that Patton Oswalt actually believes that? Does he really think Dave Chappelle has a 100%, a total 180 view on transgender rights and representation? Patton Oswalt says, I support trans people's rights, anyone's rights to live safely in the world as their fullest selves, he said. Do you really think Dave Chappelle does not support trans rights or anyone's rights to live safely in the world as their fullest selves? You know, I've been called anti-trans because I have unpopular opinions on trans things that I don't think are even controversial at all. But would Patton Oswalt say that I 100% disagree with him here? I totally support trans people's rights, anyone's rights to live safely in the world as their fullest selves. Turns out the majority of motherfuckers alive today agree with that statement. That's not controversial. And what are the odds that Dave Chappelle actually doesn't think trans people should be able to live their lives as they see fit? Probably really fucking low. And here's the worst bit. You've been friends with the dude for 34 years? So you've been friends with Dave Chappelle as long as I've been alive, okay? As long as I've been living and breathing, you dudes have been friends. 3.5 fucking decades. And you just threw Dave under the bus because some strangers on Instagram, or whatever the fuck else, who are, again, fucking impossible to please, even if you wanted to. You threw away a 34-year friendship so that maybe some of those assholes will still maybe like you after all of this. I know a lot of people say Patton is a good dude in person, and there's a lot of reasons I could believe that. But this still is like the shittiest thing you could possibly do to a friend, especially one that you've been friends with for that long. And again, I have to reiterate, you think you 100% disagree with Dave's views on trans people? You know him better than any of us know him if you've known him for 34 years. You really think that? I mean, to not have his back during all this just seems like total BS to do to a friend. Again, does anyone with a thinking brain really think that Dave Chappelle hates trans people and thinks that they should just be denied every right that everybody else has? Especially a friend of his for 34 years. No, dude, this is just bowing to the mob and selling your friend out in the process. Maybe Dave Chappelle has some questions on the whole trans thing or whatever, but does he really need to be fucking black-bagged now, where his own friends that he poses in a picture with now have to apologize for being seen with him? So in case maybe you're like me and you've just been living under a rock for the past several months, Chappelle did another Netflix special, and of course it pissed the wokies off to the point where they were boycotting Netflix, demanding that it be removed. And Netflix employees even walked out in protest over it, standing with the rights of trans people against the Nazi known as Dave Chappelle. Well, Bill Maher actually made what I think is the best point on this, that not only was the outrage ridiculous, but the hypocrisy is even more laughable. Netflix's biggest show at the time was a series where Koreans murdered each other for money, and there was no outrage about that. But lo and behold, a dude fucking speaks his mind, spreads a little bit of his own personal insight, and then everybody loses their shit because they're a bunch of frail fucking weaklings. In a world of Dave Chappelle's, don't be a Patton Oswalt. Just stand on your feet and say what you think and stand by it. Literally, stand by your friend and take a fucking picture with them. If the mob don't like it, fuck them. Stop cowering to the mob. But in other news of wokies eating each other, Sarah Silverman had this same shit happen to her for correcting Joy Reid on a retarded hit piece about Ron DeSantis. And it shouldn't be surprising to anyone who knows what Joy Reid is about because she's another woke idiot. But to Sarah Silverman, it was a surprise to find out that Joy Reid was wrong about the issue at hand and didn't have a clue about what she was talking. Sarah's response to Joy was this simple little tweet here, saying, "Please read the article before you post this stuff. You're a news outlet. The truth has to matter." Well, sorry, Sarah. Ron DeSantis is square in the crosshairs for corporate Democrats because he's a threat to their power. He's one of the people standing up against them. And I can't believe this is news to any adult, but I know that not everyone pays attention to how politics works. Sarah got scolded as being a racist for this tweet. So of course she was right that what Ron DeSantis was proposing in Florida is not even close to being a new idea. Several other states have already done something like what he's proposing, including California and New York, which are the biggest blue states in the union. But again, wokies no carry about facty.
We can't even critique anyone in your own party without
you guys made
punishment.
This.
One of the hosts of The View was like, "What hubris for Sarah Silverman to accuse a black woman of not reading. Oi! Jesus H! What the... I surrender."
No, that's the problem. Why do you surrender to that? Stop surrendering to stupid bullshit like this. That's the entire problem in the first place. These people want nothing but compliance. They don't care about you. They want to pressure you to use you and your voice. You're only an ally to these people until you have a slight disagreement. It is a 100% or nothing to them. It's not 99.999. It's 100 or get the fuck out, you're a Nazi. You have to realize that at this point. Think about it. If a right-winger called you racist for this, you would not surrender to it. You would engage with them, and on this point, you would be right. But honestly, Sarah, you don't get to cry about this. You get to take a big, giant bowl and fill that motherfucker up with all of this wokey bullshit. And then take a giant fucking spoon and polish every fucking bit of it down. Every fiber of that bullshit. I want to be able to see my reflection in the spoon, Sarah, whenever you're done eating it, because you have enabled and played along with this woke crap for years. So you don't just get to say, I surrender, I surrender. No. You're one of the reasons, you're one of the people who has let this shit happen. And you deserve every goddamn bite of that wokey bullshit. So enjoy.